Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where we're getting ready for the updated, upvamped, and new show that we're going to put together at the end of the month. We're in the throes of putting it all together, new sponsors, new people on board, and a whole new look to the show. It's going to be fun, and you're going to enjoy it. But this week, we've got Peter Gibson as our guest. He's going to be talking about CTC, Charity Turf Challenge, telling you the whole story. Charity Turf Challenge, how you gone in the past?
I can't seem to win it. You know, Phil, Georgia and I normally spend about 300 Rand, and we rope Doug Steyn and guys. We put about 500 Rand in. We never win it.
I wonder why.
I don't know. We go for the obvious ones, and then out of the woodwork comes some horse that. But it's a great concept, and we'll donate again.
Of course, we all donate, it's great fun. But talking about donating, we donated the Masters to Sergio Garcia.
Fantastic.
It was written in the stars.
Yeah.
60th birthday on Sunday was Seve Ballesteros' birthday. Orazabal won it 20 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
It was all lined up for him. And when he missed that putt on the last...
It's written in the stars, you say.
Cannot believe it,
Yeah. James, I just wanted to go back to that 18th. He had the putt to win it before the playoff. Yeah. And he rolled it by. Do you know that same putt, he had to go 5 under on day 2?
Yeah.
By himself, the leader. That must be a tricky...
No, apparently that putt is inside left, and it looks like it slopes this way.
Yes.
Because that's the way it looks like the green slopes, and the problem with those greens is that they're very hard to read.
Would Walter battle to read them?
Walter would never battle to read a green. He's back up and about because he's so sick and tired of Candice and Marky pushing him around that he's up and about.
Fantastic.
Out there having a full go, and he's wandering around the stables telling them what they're doing wrong.
Fantastic.
That's why the stables turned.
Yeah.
So
Walter's the master.
Yeah, the master.
But
Master
James, we did speak last week.
And
I asked you a week ago who'd win the Masters. Yeah. Okay, your favourite got scratched, so you had him. But the other three all played well. If you'd have gone for places or larger play, you'd have won money on your selections.
Well, they all finished top 12. Hideki Matsuyama, Brooks Koepka, the outsider, and our man Rory. Rory's the perennial. He seems to he's got the game, but he just can't put it together. He makes mistakes.
Yeah, and Schwartzel played fantastic player. Yeah, fantastic. They did well. Else folded like a cheap
shame.
suit.
I feel sorry for Ernie. Ernie's got something worrying him. He's not swinging the club like he normally does.
Carried a little bit of condition, I thought. Yeah. But well done to. I'm so happy. And the caddy, Kloof boy.
Well, that's our man, Glenn Murray. Yeah,
Glenn Murray.
He's stuck there with Sergio through thick and thin. And as I said to you a couple of years ago when Sergio was going bad, I said, woman trouble. Let me tell you, he had big problems.
Woman give you trouble?
Yeah, big problems with Greg Norman's daughter. There you are. He's got a new pretty girl on his shoulder, getting married to her, happy as a sandbar, and playing the best golf of his life. Because normally Sergio would have folded like a cheap Taiwanese.
Yeah. James, what is it with Kloof, who've now got another caddy? Because remember Greg Herman? Greg Herman won 3 majors.
Yeah, with Schwartzel he won.
And 2 with the Goose.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And now Glenn Murray ups the game, and it's fantastic.
You know what the thing is Kloof, it's so dark and misty. Okay, you've got to study golf.
You've got to study that green. You've got to study. Well done to those boys.
Glenn, a fantastic guy.
Every team in the top 7 won their soccer match this week, except you guys who play tonight.
Well, they'll lose.
Don't be negative. Don't be negative. Arsenal can win. I don't know if you saw the big signs at the rallies. Everyone was there. Rallies putting up the president must go, whatever, all these things. And there's a car at the back. Wenger out.
Me.
Was that you? Was that you at the rally, James? Wenger had nothing.
I'm not worried about Zuma.
South African politics. Wenger out.
Rugby.
Sevens, James. I think they must be tired or just weren't there in the final.
No, I don't think it's as good a team as our A team. It just looked like they were lacking the flair that they normally have. And those Fijians, when they get running, they're impossible to stop. And they did some unbelievable passes, little passes on running players. They were fantastic. And so we still haven't won the Sevens in Hong Kong, which is a shame. But
it might come.
Yeah, it might easily come. Anyway, let's go on and have a look at what we've got as far as the racing's concerned. And we've got 3 very nice horses to follow. Well, here we go. Let's go to the first one. We go to Kenilworth on Saturday, and it's race 1. They went to 1,000 meters. And this Captain L, Grant Knowles, and his Diesel Syndicate own it. Dollar Tractor ran a cracking good race. Let's go and have a look.
Yeah, funny enough, the favourite's called Cot Campbell, beautifully bred favourite. I will just mention that because you can see it walks out of the gate in Anand Singh's colours. It loses 6 to 8 lengths, the favourite. But the horse we found, James, got the pedigree to run.
Absolutely. He's out of a Jetmaster mare, bred by Carver Flay. Corner alpha on him in the black and white on the inside. You'll see that the horse making the pace is the Bram van Hasteen colours. Making the pace on the Royal Marine, that gets run out of it. And it ends up being a nice race. And Pen Chan for Eric Sands wins the race. He had the form. But watch Dollar Tractor on the inside and Cot Campbell next door to him.
Yeah, Cot Campbell's made up the ground after getting left badly. So that's a horse you've got to keep an eye on. It was fancied in the betting. But here, down the inside, this Captain L gets a left-handed drive and starts to plug on nicely at the top too.
Yeah, absolutely. He runs on well under just a nice, easy push-out ride and runs third. And you'd think that Cot Campbell will improve. Do you know who Cot Campbell was?
No, I don't.
Cot Campbell owned a syndicate called Dogwood Syndicate. He was the first real big syndicate in America, Cot Campbell. Very, very influential man in syndicating horses. They had some fantastic horses. Green and yellow colours, I seem to remember, green with yellow dots.
Okay.
Dogwood Syndicate, Cot Campbell. Very
I thought it was
interesting
the
man.
first place that Doug Campbell slept.
No,
but it's got nothing to do with that.
No, it wasn't.
Nothing. It's
that
Dogwood.
that was in Doggle.
Doggle was Cot Campbell.
No, Doggle was Cot Campbell with Doug Campbell. Okay, Doug Campbell's on holiday, by the way.
Good luck to him. Good luck to him.
States.
Hard-working
Well done to
man.
him. Let's go and have a look at the second one. We go to Greyville, and we pick up the first race, Greyville, Toltec from the Lazarne Forbes stable. Alec Forbes rode this nice big son of JPEG. I really like this horse.
Yeah, this is an interesting race. So look where it's drawn, the horse we found. You know, and if you have a look, the fancied runners or the placed runners really came from the back, the deep draws. Black Balls right on the outside, runs a cracking good race, gets run out of it later. The winner, a very good run. Cat's Legacy is second last now. Callum Murray gave it a great ride. But the horse we found, James, is Toltec, the out of a Jetmaster mare, this JPEG from Lazarne Forbes. Very good run too.
Yeah, who bred this?
This was bred by Bosworth Farmstead. It cost 260.
That's what I wanted you to mention. Bosworth Farms, they bred it. They always breed a good horse.
Yeah.
And this one's got the purple and blue getting pushed along on the outside there. He's about 3 wide, 4 wide the whole way. They went a cracking pace here. They went too fast. The favourite sat up second and had absolutely nothing to come. He's worth keeping an eye on. Yeah. That horse, Reverend. But you'll see that Cat's Legacy comes from second last or third last year in the laissez-faire colours on the black, white and blue sleeves.
Yes.
And this horse we found has got beautiful big action. I like this horse a lot.
Yeah.
And,
funny enough, the little filly of ours that I ran in here, Exquisite Eights, hit the front up the middle. I did say she's going to need the run because she hurt herself last time. She runs a great race. But on the outside, a very good run by the horse we found, Toltec. The winner's getting the great urgings from Callum Murray, and the horse who's beaten the barrier, Black Bulls there. It's a hell of a finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the pace had everything to do with it. Black Ball had a couple of runs and showed good form. And he might have gone a little early as well because they all got run out of it. And you'd think that the horse that ran third, Toltec, is certainly worth having a look at. We then move on to Greyville, the second race. And this was a very interesting race because the hot favourite was Sir Frenchie. Everyone tipped this from every street corner. This couldn't lose. Well, certainly got beaten by first time, and never mind that you beat it left with Sniper Shot, who I think's turned out to be a nice horse.
Yeah, it turned out to be a very nice horse.
Not an expensive horse.
No, 140 grand. The Birches bred him. He's a very nice horse. I'm very pleased. I had a good chat with Justin about Sir Frenchie because, as you know, I was involved with the purchasing of it, and he said
you weren't involved. You purchased it.
Yeah, I purchased it. He's a horse. He said he hasn't done much with him, and he's going to come on lengths from this. And I wouldn't put a line through Sir Frenchie just yet. I think he's a very nice, good-looking horse, James.
Beautiful horse, absolutely beautiful horse. You've got a good eye.
But
let's go and have a look at someone else who's got a good eye. Procol Harum.
Procol Harum had one hit wonder in their life. What was it?
Knights in White Satin.
Okay, very good. Whiter shade of pale. You're very good, James.
Yeah, whiter shade of pale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done.
Not Knights and Whites hat. Okay, it's got the orange
Yeah.
orange colours with the
McLean.
green sleeves. Keegan de Mello just tucking it in behind them. You going to the front.
Yeah, Sniper Shot's gone off the front where he stays with the young apprentice Aries. The horse we found 3 back on the fence in McLean Silks. And they're getting jostled a bit's the favourite, sort of alongside the horse we found with the green sleeves. And it's a good run because the pace is on, and my horse had seen the track and had the form, and I think that what beats the 2 ran behind me. They both ran very good races.
Well, this is bred by Narrow Creek Stud. That's Jan Loftus, I think. Yeah. Lofty, isn't it?
No,
that's Platner's ex-chap.
Yes.
Jan Mantel.
No.
No,
I'm sure Narrow Creek is the other boy.
One of the. That's.
I know the guy.
You come on, Laf, get it right. Okay.
Sorry.
Narrow Creek Stud, Quirari out of a Model Man mare, and we're going to get into such trouble for not remembering his name, but we're all getting old. And this really ran a cracking race, right up the inside. Black horse, lovely black horse. Procol Harum ends up running the favourite out of second place. So those are the 3 to follow, and. We're going to go and have a look at our blast from the past.
What's his name? Everett, isn't it?
2,450 metres until glory, and they're racing away with Bankable Teddy 2 lengths slow at the start. Premier Chance, Miller's World, and Scheme of Things, the first 3 to break out, but Premier Chance goes off to the front. Miller's World's a fighter at the rail in second. Scheme of Things races 1 off, and that now edges into that second spot, and Trip to Paradise is on the move on the outside of runners and racing closer to the front. Then comes Kenan, who's locked in a position at the rail. Stebbins alongside him. A length and a half away to the slow starting Bankable Teddy, Jubilee Lan. They together, they 8 lengths off the leader. Abashiri has only 2 behind. They Rocket Ball and Samurai Blade, but there's an honest gallop past the 1800 metres mark, and Stable Companion to Abashiri is out there doing what he's been sent out to do. He's setting the pace, a Scheme of Things. He's 1 length in front. Premier Chance is second. Trip to Paradise worked hard to go up and race in that 3rd position, with Miller's World against the rail in 4th in the all blue. 3 lengths away to Kenan. He's 5th. Stebbins is 6th. 7th place is Bankable Teddy and Jubilee Lan. They sharing that position. Abashiri in the orange sleeves and cap still has only 2 behind. He's about a dozen lengths off the leader. Rocket Ball and Samurai Blade are the 2 that drop at the back of the field as they move away towards the 1200 metres area, and Scheme of Things goes a little bit further clear. It's 2 lengths in front of Rank Outsider. Trip to Paradise in second. Premier Chance races away in 3rd in the silver and blue hoops. 2 lengths back to Miller's World in the all blue. Kenan and Stebbins, they still together. Jubilee Lan and Bankable Teddy, they 10 lengths off the leader. Rocket Ball edges in front of Abashiri. He now has only 1 behind, and that is Samurai Blade. The finish line is within sight, and Scheme of Things will guard them for home. Over Trip to Paradise, who's second. Premier Chance, Miller's World, Stebbins. Kenan goes up towards the inside, and Abashiri is towards the outside rail, and he's moving forward with authority into the final 500 metres. Rocket Ball is in front. Stebbins is second. Abashiri's in the picture, and here we go. Abashiri in front. He's got 300 metres left to go. Rocket Ball's running a huge race in the middle. Then comes Stebbins. They followed by Jubilee Lan. 200 metres left to go. Abashiri's 2 lengths in front of Rocket Ball. Then comes Samurai Blade. It's Abashiri. He's within sight. He's within reach. Rocket Ball second. Abashiri. A Rocket Ball. Here it comes. Abashiri! Abashiri's beaten Rocket Ball. Samurai Blade 3rd. Stebbins was 4th.
Well, there he was, wrapped up the Triple Crown. My goodness, how things have changed since then. But
what a good horse! What a very good horse! You know, and he just showed such resolution and a real. To win the Triple Crown, you've got to be a very good horse. And nice to see a bit of emotion out of Mr. Cohen, the commentator.
Nice to hear he's back as well. So
yeah, correct.
Great
Lovely having him back.
But we got to take a break, and we'll be back after this race.
Titanium, but Shima kicks away now, and it's Shima past the 300-meter marker. Rolled Silver, then comes Roberta's Passion, but past the 200-meter marker, and it's all Shima, and Shima, runaway winner. Shima to win by about 6 or 7 lengths, a steeplechase margin. Shima comes home lonely. Second is going to go to Roberta's Passion, I Am Titanium, and Front Club.
Well, before we get into Shima, John Everett from Narrow Creek Stud, great mate of ours, and worked for Mary Slack for many years. He knows how to breed a horse.
Yeah, he's a good breeder.
Sorry, John.
Yeah,
okay.
John.
we gave all our mates a plug. Jan Mantel, Lofty. The only one we left out was David Hepburn Brown. Well, there we are.
There we are. We mentioned them all.
We're going to give them all a plug. Our mates are the little stunts. Anyway, Shima, 12 to 10. Into bet, you could have got 8 to 10, 9 to 10 at the start, started 6 to 10. There's an Archie Penko of Mike de Cox, looked like an absolute blinder in this race, and so it turned out to be.
9
lengths.
Sorry, everything fine, thank you.
Yeah, 9 lengths to one by.
Did it win by 9?
Yeah.
Sure, I didn't think it was that far. Yeah, it ended up being a great bet.
Yeah, great bet. Well, there you go. Interbet was your place to be. You would have got the best price there. Let's move on and go and see what we've got. See what we've got, current affairs.
Hi, my name is Gregory Blank. I'm an ex-stockbroker and involved in private equity and stock markets. But my passion for the last 40 years has been horse racing. I initially started off as an owner. We then got into breeding and then into trading. And obviously by default became a punter. The most exciting part, apart from being as a winner, is having a winning bet at the same time. Obviously that's not always easy, but with the help of Interbet and their transparent information, it makes trading and betting a lot easier. I've had over 38 Group 1 winners and continue to try to strive for that thrill of having a winner. The thrill of owning a horse and winning a race is indescribable. But if they're serious about it and serious about punting, is to get a leg in and really follow Interbet to the max. It's the only way they can be ahead of the game.
Right, welcome to another edition of Current Affairs. We had a couple of stakes races down in Durban, and we've also picked up one of the great horses on the planet running in Australia for you to watch as well. And Jimbo's been digging around for some news. Jim, you've got some news in it, and it looks like the season's starting now. We're going to get the drill hall, we're going to get all these races, and it's good to see these young horses coming through, and these were 3-year-olds contesting 2 Group 3 races, you know?
Yeah, it was very interesting days racing, and certainly the Cape boys have arrived in town. Justin Snaith's firing, absolutely firing. And he fancied both his to win. He got beaten in the second one, but the Umzinkulu, which is a fillies race, grade 3, it's quite an interesting race, and it shows that the young fillies can come out the wings and be better than other horses that have been the tried and tested Group 1 horses. And the top 4 looked like the 4 that would fight it out, but there was a lot of confidence about Justin's filly, Gimme 6, the Gimme the Green Light. Madison Park, Hassan Adams and the team. Let's go and have a look at it.
The back marker is a woman's way, 10-11 lengths off the leader. La Jatanella, the leader. Caratage is on the outside. These two dispute the lead. Sails in the blue third. 4th position, Final Judgment. The Secret is out, is near the rail. On the outside, Tanami, and then comes Trippy's Girl. Gimme 6 has given them about 5 or 6 lengths start. Then Dawn Calling. On the outside of that one is the High Life, and a woman's way is the trailer. Bow to be homeward bound, La Jatanella the leader, Caratage second, Sail's going to go through down the inside. Final Judgment, the red sleeves and cap now hooks out and gets the wake up. Towards the outside of that as the Secret is out. Final Judgment, Sail. On the outside, the Secret is out. Down the inside, Gimme 6.
Final Judgment, Sail. Gimme 6 runs on from behind. Dawn Calling's also trying to get into the race. Final Judgment, Gimme 6 on the inside. Gimme 6 coming home strongly now. And Gimme 6 won it. Final Judgment second. Sail third. Dawn Calling ran fourth.
Well, there we go. As you said, Justin Snaith's in town, and very good. Anthony Delpesh is picking up the rides. Anthony picks up the rides when the boys come into town because he freelances.
Bella Bella's jockey. He's hanging around. He's got a couple of rides there that he's got his name etched in gold on. The Trooters obviously owned a share in this as well, Jane and Ken.
Yeah.
And lovely to see them have a win. I'm sorry they weren't here. They love their racing. They've got lots of
I think they're still on the blue train.
on the blue train.
Yeah, still on the blue train. But well done to them. Good Spurs, man.
Yeah.
And Haas, well done. And the Stallion keeps firing, James. Give me the green light.
Yeah.
Well done to them. So Final Judgment, a good run. The Judd put, as you say, the top 4.
The Secret is out picked very badly halfway around the turn, and that might have been
better than that. But they said it might just need the outing.
Yeah, but the 1400 seems past and beyond it too. Anyway, we move on to the Bailey Turk, which is a grade 3 for the 3-year-olds. It's a conditions race as well. And this looked like an absolute match in 2. Africa Rising, who'd been running extremely well in features, and Copper Force, who was lined up for this race. And Africa Rising, the son of Visionaire. Lovely looking horse. And just pick up what you think is very unusual in this race. Let's go and have a look at them.
Wide out on the track. Along the inside, Africa Rising with the blue is about 4 or 5 lengths off the leader. Scarabeast is over racing. On the inside of that one is Boldly Respectable, Gunner. Then Marshall that. Amazon King's the trailer, about 9-10 lengths top to tail. My Pal L the leader. Kenny Tricks races up into second. Bling Swingers on the outside of Copper Forces in the box seat. Then Scarabeast. And Africa Rising just stalking Copper Force. On the outside, Scarabeast, then Boldly Respectable, Buffalo Soldier and Gunner. Amazon King second to last. Marshall, that's the trailer. Top of the lane, My Pal L from Kenny Tricks. Copper Force going to go for a rails run, being followed by Africa Rising. Scarabeast on the outside, then Gunner. Getting to the 300 metre, and Copper Force now comes forward. Copper Force, Africa Rising becomes a big runner on the inside. Buffalo Soldier the outside, Kenny Tricks. Copper Force, Africa Rising's coming on strongly though. And Africa Rising coming out Copper Force, but Africa Rising won it. Copper Force second, Buffalo Soldier third, maybe Kenny Tricks fourth.
Well, there we go. The Visionaire, he's a very good horse, this James, and he's a good-looking horse.
Yeah, and did you notice that he ran with the overreach boot on the all 4?
Did they forget to take it off?
It was unbelievable.
Well, so it was supposed to be taken at the start.
Yeah. He had the overreach boot on. I don't know if he had both of them on when he started because he couldn't see.
Correct,
but he certainly had one on at the finish,
I think he went down with one, and maybe brushes or grabs or got quarter grabs. I don't know.
I think I spoke to Dujon immediately. He went past the post. I said, "Well," he said, "No, they're meant to take it off at the start."
Oh, lovely. Well, I'm not backing it. I'm not backing it unless it's got it on next time.
Maybe you should be putting overreach boots on.
Yeah, that's what you want. Protect the feet and let them run.
The noise.
But I spoke to Justin. Justin was very pleased with his run too. He said it's too short for this horse, and that's why he had him handier than he'd like, and he ran a good race. So he's pleased. But Africa Rising, very good win.
Very good win. Came from behind them both and absolutely put them to bed. Superb win. Just talking about superb wins, Winks. We just got to go through her. She just
the Yanks are quick to say Arrogate's the best horse in the world. But
well, there's the best filly in the world. But she's
no
only
doubt
racing against a whole lot of Australians.
But she's beating them as far as you could throw
but maybe they're no good.
Tennis ball. No, they're Group 1 winners behind him most times. Yeah, this is a superstar. And I'd love a horse like this to go to Ascot, James.
Well, who knows whether it will or won't go to Ascot. Let's go and have a look at Winks winning at Royal Randwick. And this course is maintained by our ex-course manager.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's gone there and does it
Did
down
you watch the golf all night last night?
I just watched until I was tired.
Yeah, well, you look like you're still tired. Anyway, let's go and see Winks at Royal Randwick winning the Queen Elizabeth.
And they're all set now. This is it, the grand final of Australian racing, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Racing. And Winks jumped as well as anything. Hartnell jumped well off the inside, but No Doubt's pushing on from the outside. Happy Clapper's going forward as well, so it's No Doubt and Hartnell in the early stages, and Happy Clapper goes into third. The United States improving. Winks jumped well, but Bowman happy to let her drift back now on the outside of Excess Ferry. A length further back to Sense of Occasion. Then Harlem, and Singing's been taken back to last. It's No Doubt in front, but Hartnell's punching through on the inside, 3/4 away. The United States up on the outside. Happy Clapper just being eased out of that battle. Back into fourth. 3 lengths further back to the mighty mare Winks. She sits on the outside of Excess Ferry. Then Sense of Occasion from Harlan, and Singing is the last one. So No Doubt the real roughie of the field leads from the United States in the money last year. And it's found its position in second. Hartnell third, a length off to Happy Clapper. 2 further back to Winks, just shading Excess Ferry. Then Sense of Occasion from Harlem, and Singing is the last one. They're running along at even splits. 1,000 metres out, No Doubt in front by a length and a half to the United States. Hartnell a lot closer in the run today. Looks as though Doyle's coming off the fence on Hartnell. He is. He's put the United States 3 deep. So there'll be no hard luck stories for Hartnell today. Then Happy Clapper. Winks is out 3 wide. She's starting to inch a little bit closer on the outside of Excess Ferry. Then Sense of Occasion Singing, and Harlem's back last. No Doubt in front. Hartnell, he's having his 7th clash with the great mare today, and Doyle's the first to make the move on Hartnell. Gets a length in front of the United States, but here she comes around the field of Winks. Bowman hasn't moved a muscle. Doyle has on Hartnell. Here she comes, Winks. Moves up on the outside of Hartnell. Then the United States and Happy Clapper. But away she goes now, Winks, in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. She's put 2 lengths on Hartnell. Then Excess Ferry. Sense of Occasion. She's racing royalty, this mare. There's 17 in a row. The grandstand shaking. She wins it by about 4.5 to Hartnell. Sense of Occasion third. The United States fourth. Followed then by Happy Clapper. Good margin back to the other quartet. Exospheric, No Doubt, Harlem and Singing's last in.
Yeah, as James says, this has got to be the best filly in the world. She won by 5.3 lengths again. She absolutely toyed with them, James.
Yeah, to go and watch these big races is what it's all about. And,
Yeah.
you know, just to go to Royal Randwick, that course is in unbelievable condition. And the ex-manager runs it from Johannesburg.
Yeah.
He runs that track. And just talking about that quickly before we go to a break, if you want to go and see a great race, then you've got to go to Hong Kong at the end of the month. Phil's putting together, Let's Go Travel putting together a trip there, and Mike de Kock's taking Mubtahish there.
That's
and,
right.
There's the 2 big races. There's the mile and the 2000, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes.
That's right.
In Hong Kong. And I see he's got a fabulous package, about 24 grand, all in, all
No,
played.
I agree. You got to go. And I know Michael's quite upbeat about his charges.
Let's Go Travel's number on the screen, 031 764 0143. Shows how good my eyes are. Okay, let's go and have a break now so that I can just get the eye drops in them, just to clear them up.
Yeah.
Right, well, we've got a bit of racing news. Let's go and talk about the Grand National, because it was, as usual, a fabulous event. And I really enjoyed it.
I always have a bet in the National, and all the big races I try a little touch. So what I did, I had a look at them and I said 16 to 1, 4 horses are 16 to 1, 2 and a grand on each one, and I got a 4th. They all finished though. I got a 4th.
Well played. You like me with the golf. You're a good tipster.
Yeah, very good tipster.
Yeah. But let's talk about the winner. One for Arthur. He's a Scottish horse. First Scottish horse to win since 1979.
Fantastic.
And trained by a woman called Lucinda Russell. Now, she's been around. She's a very, very good horsewoman, Lucinda Russell. And this horse absolutely dawdled in. I tell you, with about 5 to jump, he was at the back of the field. He ran past the whole field, which is very, very unusual in the Grand National. Yeah. But the big story was Derek Fox, the jockey. Broke his collarbone and his wrist 4 weeks ago. This boy, Derek Fox. Wow. And he ended up making it in time to ride for the race, got himself right. He went to the place in Newmarket where they help the injured jockeys. They've got a proper setup there that they help him. And he got fixed up there. 40 horses started. and all came back in good health. No
fatalities.
No fatalities.
Nothing.
Horses and jockeys.
It's been many years now, hasn't it, James?
5 years. It's
5
been.
years.
So, those knockers of the Grand National, 40 went this year. Not one of them got badly injured. And it just shows what a great race it is.
Yeah.
But just some of the figures, 70,000 people went on Saturday to Aintree. 151,000 over the 3 days. So they had the biggest attendance, on-course attendance ever. Tote handle was down a bit. Now, that's a worrying sign worldwide, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a trend.
But what is interesting is that there are more people going to the races worldwide than there ever have been, if you market the business properly.
Absolutely.
And it's very interesting.
You know what's interesting, James? Just talking about the Grand National. I read a book called Foinavon.
Yeah.
That's the jump.
23rd fence.
Yeah, that's the jump where all those horses fell.
And it's the most innocuous little jump.
That's it.
On
There's a big scramble and a chomor.
But what happened is a loose horse ran across him, a couple of them came down, and the whole thing just came to a halt.
And this horse was miles back. Do you know
who rode it?
I haven't a clue.
Pat Buckley.
Pat Buckley, eh?
Yeah, and he is now
I knew his cousin Bull, but I don't know Pat Buckley.
Yeah, Bull Buckley.
Yeah. Now, I just want to tell you that, James, when he won that race...
Are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. When he won that race, James, he rode... the guy who rode it didn't want to ride it. And he got... I read the book.
Buckley.
Yeah, and he got the... Pat Buckley rode it. And what was interesting, there's 3 mountain ranges in some part of England. One's called Arkle, one's called Foinavon, and one's called something else. And Arkle won, and they said, well, we've got to name another one off the mountains. And they got Foinavon. They said, well, he'll never win.
What happened about something else?
He stayed next runner, next year.
Year.
Favourite next year, something else. So Foinavon, named after the mountain range.
Well, if you ever watched the race, okay, and I know you read the book, but if you ever watched the race, Pat Buckley's tailed off.
Yeah, out of the race.
I mean, there's no
the
chance.
Horse is useless.
They're just horses and bodies all over the place.
And you could get back on in those days.
He pops over it on the outside, okay, and then goes on. And in those days you could remount.
Yeah.
So guys are scrambling to get on, catchier horses trying to get on the horse. By that time he'd flown.
Yeah.
And it just shows you what happens in sport, in life, in the most unusual and amazing things. But that's what happened with him. Just to wrap up current affairs before we get Peter Gibson in here to talk to us about CTC. Eclipse Awards 2 days before the Pegasus World Challenge.
Okay.
Now, that's the Stronach Group have obviously arranged for it to be on the Thursday before the Saturday. The Pegasus is now worth $16 million. Not 12, 16.
Wow, they've given a good injection, eh?
So maybe Mike's man will buy a spot for Mubtahish because he could be also Mike prepped
so it cost you to get in?
$1 million to buy a spot.
Ooh.
Yeah. But the thing is that it's an amazing concept. And it really has worked, and Stronach made it into a phenomenal event. As we saw, we chatted before about all the adverts with the MMA guy, did all the adverts, and he was fantastic. Yeah. Wrapping up, Mike de Kock.
Yeah, Mike de Kock's, we've spoken about Mike. He's going to take his horses Mubtage, but just a quick little touch on those stallion fees, James. I see that they're pushing them up. The top one, Schnitzel, $176,000 service.
Australian dollars. This
reduced
is
choice.
Arrowfield stud,
reduced choice, 150 or something.
137 reduced choice, up from 110, and Schnitzel's up from 110. Not a single dart. 88 up from 71 and a half.
Was it African Kingdom?
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
$27,500.
Yeah, that's a good. They've got babies back home. They say are flying from the stallion.
Well, he'll go up very quickly if they are.
Yeah.
The 2 horses that interested me, and the one specifically, was Maurice and Shala. Now, Maurice was a champion miler in Hong Kong. Japan. Japan. He's a Japanese horse, Maurice.
Okay.
And Shala was top sprinter in England. And they both stand at $33,000. So that means, you go to Australia, those are standing at fees of 330,000 Rand or, that type of fine. Yeah. You can go buy horses for those type of prices, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, bring them back here. And you're getting some of the best blood in the world, which we've been obviously doing for many years, which is amazing. And I think that blood really does help our business. But we're going to talk to Peter Gibson about a whole lot.
Okay.
You're going to have a trip, go and
Yeah,
enjoy
I'll
yourself.
be back. Yeah, away for a week.
No, you deserve a break. You had, what, 3 winners yesterday?
Two.
Two
winners.
2 winners. Well, you know what? 2 winners is 2 winners. That's what
That's right.
say.
They all help.
Well
Every
done.
winner counts. Thank you.
No, well done. Laf will be back. I'll be back with Peter Gibson. Well, as promised to you, Charity Turf Challenge time again. And this is where you got to pick out, it's like a fantasy league for you horse players. They want to go and pick out your horses to see if you can get the most points over the season. And our man who runs the Charity Turf Challenge is none other than Peter Gibson. Peter, nice having you in the studio.
Thanks, James. It's been a while, but we love doing the Charity Turf Challenge. Gives people a chance to earn good money.
First question I want to ask you, did Dees earn so much money that he's gone? What happened to him?
No, look, when we restructured, we downsized everything. So
who's we?
Racing South Africa.
Okay.
We had the 2 platforms, the one umbrella, which was Horse Racing South Africa, which had the quarantine station, all the relationships with government. Some of the industry national projects like Charity Turf and the Fact Book and Economic Impact Study. And then, of course, we had the Trade Council, which existed as a separate company, but it fell under that umbrella. And so when we restructured and we dismantled everything, the only thing that was left standing was the Trade Council, which we've used the name Racing South Africa, probably confusingly for both companies.
Yeah,
but it was such a good brand.
confusing. Yeah.
So the technical matters really were housed under the Horse Racing South Africa banner, and the trade side, which was actually established many years ago by Mick Goss, and we created the name Racing South Africa. So that is the body that exists, and that's what I look after on a part-time basis now. But we do the Charity Turf Challenge.
What do you mean as a part-time basis? Let's, before we get into the Charity Turf Challenge, because we don't get you in the studio often enough, talk about it, because there's always talk about,
what happened?
What's
what
happening? When we go sell a horse to someone.
All right. Look, once we restructured, so the quarantine station was basically acquired by Kenilworth Racing. All the technical relationships that we had with government and the scientific responsibilities and the funding responsibilities fell under Equine Health Fund. I thought that was an excellent decision because it's now independent, it's an academic environment, and they basically corral.
Bev Parker.
Look, Ian Sanna heads it under Wits Health,
yeah.
And obviously they've got a team under them, some of whom are based in the Western Cape, and they look after all the protocol in support of government. And of course they continue to fund equine research and any other project that basically enhances the export platform. There's obviously a task team, which is an industry-based committee, chaired by Chris van Niekerk and others. And of course, sorry, watching you. Yeah. So that all of those technical functions are now handled outside of Racing South Africa, which, as I said, I thought was a very good move, and it allows for a much more focused approach to everything that we do. The only thing that remained part of our historical work was the Charity Turf Challenge because nobody else wanted it, and we know that the punters love it and the horse players. And we do it as a service to the industry. It's not a non-profit. We provide a small contribution to the African Horse Sickness Trust, but effectively it's really just a service.
That's the next question I wanted to ask. The African Horse Sickness Trust, it's not a charity, it's a fundraiser.
Well, it was established in many years ago in response to a terrible outbreak of horse sickness in the KZN province. Dave Mullins was primarily the driver, the late Dave Mullins, a veterinarian who practiced up there, as you know. Douglas Welsh joined him as a horse owner and a sport horse person. And then it established effectively an industry platform where people could bounce off ideas, report cases early, and in conjunction with a relationship with the state vet. And it's, again, because we funded it as Horse Racing South Africa, since then it really has a much smaller role.
Because we get asked the question, every year we have the Charity Turf Challenge.
Yeah.
And every year someone's paid out. And we haven't really been able to, see where the money's gone from the Charity Turf Challenge. There are people out there who say, we put in the 50 Rand entries, but this year's different, isn't it?
Look, let's just go back to your first comment. The truth of the matter is that the competition is there for horse players. So the vast majority of the income that we generate, which is around about 200,000 Rand, goes back towards prize money. As you know, the first prize is 100, second 20, third 10. There's a standalone prize on July Day. And of course, if we do well, then we dish out up to 10 places.
Okay.
And the African Horse Sickness Trust derives probably on average about 30,000 Rand a year.
We should hand it over to them,
which we do.
Yeah.
And they basically
hand it over to them, so and make it
but,
visible.
It just covers costs of operating the trust effectively, so it doesn't really go a long way. But anyway, the charity turf exists. We love doing it as a service, and we'd love to find somebody one day who comes up with a 50 Rand ticket, because a lot of players play big numbers and try and cover all their permutations. The biggest threat, the biggest problem that we face is, of course, trying to exclude horses that are either going to be sold or have gone wrong. And most players actually leave their selection right until the last minute.
Yes.
So I guess today is really about trying to say what we're trying to, our date lines, and just encourage people to play again.
Track and Ball, they've come on board.
Correct.
What does that mean?
That's the new sponsor. Gold Circle previously, obviously it's the same family, but Gold Circle have stepped back and allowed Track and Ball to become the title sponsor. So Steve Marshall's team are basically running it. They've got a very nice incentive whereby players who have an online betting account with Track and Ball will have a credit to the value, up to the value of 200 Rand, which really covers the cost of their entries up to 200 Rand. Yeah. So if you want to get hold of those chaps, they're looking to grow their online business, and they will recover the costs of your entry up to 200 Rand.
So I saw something like that when you entered, you'd get a 50 Rand voucher for Track and Ball.
No, that's a second incentive. We're trying to grow as much of the online entries as possible.
Yes.
Just makes it a lot easier. And for every 5 entries, you get a 6th one as free.
That's
bonus entry for free,
okay.
yeah.
So the big players that are putting in their 20 or 30 entries
Correct.
are going to be well covered as far as this
concerned. So if you enter 5, you get 6.
We put in a couple of entries, and as Laf was bemoaning earlier that he never wins it. Him and Phil and them spend their couple of 100 Rand and never win it.
Yeah, look, I mean, most people don't win it, as we know. We've had a few quite high profile people have won it. David Thistleton, in fact, a journalist, got it right, I think, in the 2nd year.
Yeah.
So that was good. But it's 100 grand, and the majority of the prize money comes from the sponsorship, so we are indebted to Track and Ball and their team. So let's hope we have a really positive response this year.
Okay, well, we're going to come back and talk about horses and whatever. We're just going to take a break because we have another race that we're going to have to watch, and then we'll be back with Peter. Right, Magic Millions winners. Agents France Press is a Loup de Vega, and it won last week, and so did Leaves of Grass, Poet's Voice, won at Kenilworth. And so these are 2 horses from Magic Millions sales, which is obviously, they've got a big sale this year, Magic Millions. It is the end of May all the way into June. So you start with the weanlings at the end of May. I think it's the 25th of May onwards. Then they've got the brood mares for all those breeders out there. And then you've got the yearlings for those guys that like to go buy yearlings. So it's a big 10-day sale, Magic Millions. You want to get hold of Paul Lafferty or Rowena. And one of them, Rowena Smith in Australia, will be able to help you as far as that's concerned. But Peter, coming back to you. Okay, so African Horse Sickness Trust going to benefit a couple of thousand out of the whole thing. Everyone pays their $50. and you want people to enter online. That's the message.
Yeah, look, the online, because it's simpler, because if we have a hard copy entry, we have to basically process that. And it takes time to obviously get through the audit and make sure that everything is correct. The online system, which is really the future of the competition, should be going towards allowing us to provide for a substitution phase. But it has to be all online, and we haven't got to that stage yet. You know, as a small company now, we don't want to really upgrade the technology in terms of our website. So I think at some point we're going to reach a crossroads where this competition is either taken over by somebody bigger, and they can expend the money in terms of the infrastructure, the IT infrastructure, and try and get it to like Super Brew or, you know, that sort of status where players can get.
Super Brew?
I don't actually, because I'm not really that keen on rugby for some reason. I must be the only South African who's not.
But they have Super Brew soccer as well.
They do. I'm not interested in soccer much either, I have to say. I like horses.
Horses, okay.
And the sport of horse
So
racing.
let's go Super Brew horses.
Well, that's exactly where we should be going.
Okay. Well,
and I tell you what, to make it interesting, you've got to be able to have constant updates and ability to change and change your team. But as we know, horses get sold, they get injured. And the biggest frustration was a big horse goes out early in the competition and everybody's anchored that. So that's why you've got to play a lot of entries. Cover your bases.
You know who does this is Godolphin. They have a fantasy stable for English racing, and it's absolutely fabulous. I played it a few times. It's great fun. You go through all their horses, and you decide how you're going to make up your stable. So these type of competitions in the new online era just work.
They do.
We're going to put up your slide so that we can have a look and see what that's got to say, and the slide will tell you everything. I think Raymond will get it up there. There you are. You stand a chance to win 100,000, and as it says on the top, Track and Ball will cover your entry cost with online betting voucher. T's and C's apply. That was what interested me. I saw it in big red banners. So Track and Ball are going to cover your cost for your online betting.
Up to 200 Rand.
So
it's 4 entries effectively.
So they'll give you 4 entries online.
So you'll basically enter 4 entries, and they will basically credit your online betting account
So you've got to have a betting account with them.
You have to. You can obviously apply to open one, which is what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a nice incentive, and they gave it a lot of thought as to how they'd like to brand or get involved, and that's what they came up with.
I think it's a fabulous idea, and it means that you're going to get new customers online betting, and online betting is the way to go. That's what it looks like. Right, let's talk about.
Sorry, just the starting point. So
timelines.
First, the competition starts traditionally with the drill hall, independent on Saturday drill hall stakes.
That's the end of
7th of May.
7th of May.
Sunday. So it's a day after the big race meeting in Joburg.
It used to be a Saturday, funnily enough.
It used to be a Saturday. I think they might have had it on a Friday in the past.
Yeah.
But the point is that
Friday.
A lot of people wait for the outcome of those big races in Joburg, and unfortunately there's just 24 hours between them.
Yeah.
So you're going to have your game plan well in advance.
Okay.
So that's the start, and obviously it ends on Eland Gold Cup Day. And the difference there is that the point structure has changed slightly because the Eland Gold Cup is now a Group 3. So that only attracts 9 points to the winner. But I mean, that might not influence your selections anyway.
Well, I think that the points will influence your selections to a large extent. Now, let's talk about the points, because you get bonus points. If you have 15 to 1 winner or better, you get a bonus.
5 points.
5 points.
We've highlighted 4 main races.
Yeah.
So we've got a sprint, which is the end of the Scottsville race.
Soga sprint.
Yeah. We've got the Rising Sun Mile.
Yeah.
We've got the July, of course, as the middle distance, and then we've got the Gold Cup as the stayers.
Okay.
So there are 5 points additional to the 20 that you get for a Group 1, 14 for a Group 2, and now 9 for a Group 3. But the key is to get runners, consistent place getters. And if you go back in time, horses like Beach Beauty, we knew she'd rock up in the Garden Province and other prep races leading up to that. And so she was a real money spinner in terms of points.
So is it better to find someone like her, or to find Legal who's going to win the Gold Challenge and say, stop. That's it, he's going to have one run?
I think you need runners.
You need runners.
You need to have a horse that dominates a certain category. As you know, we've got 3-year-old colts, 3-year-old fillies, older fillies and mares, older colts and geldings. So the fillies races often provide plenty of opportunity Because you get a dominant filly, I don't know, Bella Bella might be one of them this year. And she can dominate some of those races and pick up easy points. But yeah, you've got to, as I say, you've got to have runners and they've got to be consistently earning black type. We put in a lot of horses just because a lot of people like to put their own horse in as an entry. I mean, they might not have any hope of winning.
Let's go through the format of putting the list out of horses, because that's obviously very important as far as the competition is concerned. You don't want horses winning a lot of points that are not in your original sheet of horses. How do you go about finding the horses?
So we approach all trainers, particularly the visiting trainers, because the local guys we know, but the visitors who are coming in, either raiding from Joburg or the visitors who come for the season. So that's key to see what horses they bring. Of course, all graded races throughout the country are eligible. So that Cape Series, the Winter Series, Marinaresco was a case in point. He won the first 2 legs, then came and ran in the July.
Yes.
But he earned a lot of points in the process. So that also counts. But really what we do is we try and get the trainers to provide us accurate detail of horses that are coming, those that might be having problems with injuries. Of course, export. A lot of horses are sold in between. Yeah. So we'll be finding out about that.
And on top of that, Mike de Kock takes a lot of horses to Dubai in the middle of June.
Correct. They're missing some of the big races. So we'll try and provide as accurate a picture as possible. But it's never. That's why the substitution phase is really a nice addition if we can get the technology right.
Yeah. Yeah, where you can take one horse out and replace it with another
Correct.
horse.
I think what we would do is have like 2 phases.
Yeah. So what you do is you have deadlines, like transfer deadlines, like they have in soccer leagues and that type of thing, where you're allowed to change your players. I know that I played the fantasy league quite often on the EPL. And it's quite interesting how you get a player that's really in form early on and then goes. But we don't have as long a period.
3 months,
I think it's been very well supported, this concept, hasn't it? Do you find it's easy to get the entries in?
Look, James Windies was on board. I mean, he did a hang of a lot of groundwork and went to totes and everything else like that. Since then, it hasn't really... The number of entrants has dwindled slightly. So we had a decline last year, and we're hoping that this year there's going to be, with the economy as it is, why not have a go? But it does require a lot of collective effort. I mean, it really promotes the Gold Circle's champion season with all the big races, and that's what I quite like about it, because people think about big horses, races that they're going to be targeting, and we'd obviously like people to come and attend racing for those big days, whether they're punting or they're attending the races itself.
Well, the first people that we've got to thank are Track and Ball for coming on board and actually helping facilitate this whole thing and giving people what is effectively a free entry. If you've got a Track and Ball account, you get free entry. You can get 4 free entries in it, which is phenomenal. Yeah. So well done to Steve Marshall and his team. He's a very innovative man, Steve. I've known him for many, many years. Okay. And he certainly would come up with ideas that are going to help us, a competition like this. And any horse that you would put in?
Yeah,
a big horse?
Top of my head, let me think.
You're close to Dreyer. Tell us, you're always having breakfast there with Den. But Den plays the cards quite close to him.
He does play. I don't know if he's got the sort of the depth this year. I'd have to give that some thought. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't really think. I mean, obviously we had the first of those those graded races yesterday. A couple of good performances. I like the way Banner Hill won. I mean, he's obviously got to be a Gold Cup candidate.
Got to be, yeah.
I mean, the way he's improved, and he certainly didn't mind the track. So he's got the Lonsdale, he's got the big race on July Day, he's got the Gold Cup as at the end of season.
Gold Ball and the
he looks like an improved stayer to me. So that was one. But of course, you've got some the Guineas coming soon.
Yeah.
There will be a clash, obviously a split, because Gauteng have got their main end of season. You've got the Cape guys here and the Natal.
The week before,
So there'll be a muddling of the way, but I guess,
Peter, it's the website. What is the website?
Obviously, it's racingsouthafrica.co.za.
Racingsouthafrica.co.za.
So all the entries will go through there. There are a number of links. We've asked for most of the media outlets to do a bit of linking and coordinating, and ABC are excellent. They really do a good job of promoting it.
They've put you up on their website right at the top of the page. So the Dave Scott and Brogan.
Brogan,
Grumpy Brogan.
They do a good job, and of course Teletrack have promised to roll the slide repeatedly leading up to the start of the competition. So I'm hoping to get the horse list out this week. We take a bit of time, and a lot of people leave their entries to the last minute, so I'm not so worried about the list because it's fairly predictable, to be honest.
Why don't you put out a provisional list, okay, to start with, so people can start looking at it, and then say the final list will come out on, say, the 20th, you know, or just to give guys that little taste, you know.
Sure, we could probably do it in like an Excel. It won't be online because once we make the final decision about the entry, the list of horses, then our IT guy James Urry basically plugs everything in, and he doesn't want to change it because it's a sequence. As I say, it's probably slightly old technology, but once it's up, we can't change.
Peter, congratulations on another entry into the Winning Ways studio. And as usual, you've handled yourself with complete diplomacy. No wonder you're at the top of your field as a diplomat. I can't trip you up. I've tried for...
you have to go into topics which have lots of grey area. Then you've got a chance. And I see you avoided the exports completely.
I had to.
But I think, as we've spoken privately, I think the time has come for you to get guys like John Gruer, Dr. John Gruer, who's been very well received internationally.
I would like
to come on
the show. Will you facilitate it for us?
Yeah, and you guys have got to maybe you can do the recording of the show outside of a Monday morning.
Yeah.
Because those guys in the Cape, they don't like to get up that early. So.
No, that's right. Okay, well, get
But I think it's time,
get them up here. Tell them that
because they've had some very good responses overseas at various platforms.
I wish I had a few moments to trip you up, but I would never do that to you. Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
James.
There we are, Charity Turf Challenge. Don't miss out. It's going to be fun this year. And it's a battle of the wits. You keep your horses close to your chest. Don't tell too many people what's going on, like Dennis Dreyer does, and you'll be able to win 100,000 Rand, a hell of an incentive. And certainly Track and Ball are to be thanked for their involvement. Until next week, where we've got Gareth Pepper, have a great week's racing.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.